How do? Got a absolute horror story here from New Year's Eve in France. And if you are quite easily disturbed, I would suggest you give this one a miss. It's going to be brutal, I'm afraid. But I do think it is important to discuss these things to make ourselves aware of the reality of what is happening around us. So let's crack on. New Year's horror. African migrant arrested for raping 75-year-old French woman on New Year's morning. The victim's disabled husband was left helpless to stop the terrifying rape of his partner. So here we have clearly somebody who shouldn't be in France, in my opinion, and I've got a feeling he's not a doctor or an engineer, and he has just absolutely got zero scruples, the most predatory of predators. This is, and I do compare people who assault and attack infirmed elderly people in exactly the same category as paedophiles who prey on incredibly young children. These are the most vulnerable people that we have in our society, and they require the most protection and respect from the rest of us because they have absolutely no way of looking after themselves. So to target those people, for me, is barbaric and inhumane. And to be quite honest with you, I think there should be a death sentence, in my own opinion. I do think that we do need the death sentence to bring him back, and I think France would be absolutely within their right to put this man um, underneath a guillotine and let it have a drop. So let's carry on with the story. In a horrifying case that saw tragedy strike on New Year's morning, a 75-year-old French woman was brutally raped by an African migrant, according to police. The African suspect entered the house in Ozier-le-Ferrier. Sorry if I pronounced that wrong. I have no idea how to pronounce French towns. Located in a small, quiet street on Monday morning through a window that was not properly closed. Well, why should it be? When you're in your own home and in a place where you live, why should you have to bar your windows shut? We live in high trust societies. It's not our fault that the government have allowed invaders into our lands. People, and these people are, in my opinion, invaders, and that is the only reason why you need to bar your windows to protect yourself from these kinds of attacks. We never had to worry about being culturally enriched in our own homes like this before 1997, really, when something changed. Police say the man first went into the husband's room, who screamed when he saw him. However, the husband is bedridden and disabled and was not able to stop what happened next. He must have felt awful. As a man, he's going to want to protect his wife. And what can he actually do if he's bedridden? How can he protect his wife? This is just absolutely terrible. So he knows what's coming. And already, as soon as he'll have seen this invader in his home, he'll have known what exactly was going to happen next. And I'm not saying that his experience is worse than his wife's. I think they're both equally as bad for their own reasons, really, and it is terrible, absolutely terrible. The suspect then went into the 75-year-old wife's bedroom and proceeded to rape her and partake in unprotected sex. Now, with this being an African migrant as well, unfortunately, this old lady is going to have the risk of becoming HIV positive as well due to the prevalence of that in Africa. And this is another problem that is happening: is diseases being brought into the countries and being spread, bloodborne diseases being spread by these people, and they don't care. They have absolutely no qualms about spreading it to somebody else. They have no scruples whatsoever to do that. This man, in my opinion, should be put in front of a firing squad. I have absolutely no sympathy for this man being shot and killed by a firing squad or being put in a guillotine, with it being France. According to French newspaper Le Figaro, after raping her, he demanded she pay him money. Oh, right, yeah, that's good, isn't it? Yeah, so not only does he rape her, he wants money from her as well. She handed over a €50 bill, at which point the suspect fled. In a state of shock, the woman called her son. She was then transported to Josingi Hospital. Sorry for the pronunciation of that. For treatment. French television news outlet BFM TV reported that the suspect has since been arrested. Yeah, he needs shooting as well. The African migrant has been charged with rape, breaking and entering, assault, and theft. Other cases of sexual assault also occurring during New Year's celebration included an Afghan man who overpowered a 7-year-old girl and kissed her on the mouth. Again, that man needs a good flogging for that, according to police. And I'm not saying that for shock value either. I genuinely believe that man should be flogged for that. It's absolutely disgusting. Why the hell would you go up to a 7-year-old girl that you don't know and kiss her on the mouth? That is absolutely disgusting. The incident occurred at the Trocadero in Paris, where the suspect was arrested. According to Le Parisien, the father managed to hold down the attacker. Oh, just pressed something on the screen by accident. Where the father managed to hold down the attacker, who was highly intoxicated, until police could arrive to arrest the man. Well, that's not very halal, is it? Being intoxicated as well. I thought these people are all incredibly religious, or at least they are when it suits them, aren't they? The parents of the young victim must still file an official complaint. They did not want firefighters to immediately why firefighters to interview the child? Must mean police officers. Must be a translation issue. Who was in the state of shock after the incident. I bet this girl's going to be traumatised for the rest of her life having a strange man come up. And again, God knows what diseases that man's carrying coming from Afghanistan. I mean, funny. I've been to Afghanistan myself, and they are very, very unhealthy people in general. A lot of diseases over there, communicable diseases as well. The accuser was transferred to a Paris court and charged for sexual assault of a minor aged 15 by an adult with an age difference of at least 5 years. That must be a thing in France where there's an age difference of more than 5 years. I don't understand that rule. But I mean, absolutely shocking. Absolutely disgusting that somebody would break into somebody's house like that and do that. Again, death penalty. That is my answer to that. Death penalty. It needs bringing back. I'm no sympathy for that man. No cares. Don't send him back. Don't deport him. Just firing squad or guillotine him. It's that simple. And anybody who disagrees with me, unfortunately, I think you're a weak individual, and I think you're part of the problem because you're just enabling these monsters to carry on living. They're stealing oxygen from the rest of us, and like a dog that rags people and attacks people, we put it down. These human beings are beyond help. They need putting down. It's as simple as that. Anyway, I'm going to leave it at that. If you found that informative or you've enjoyed it or whatever, please like, subscribe, put a comment below. I'll speak to you all later. Bye-bye.